Okay, this is episode 17 of What If History Restarted. Last time, Cypriots had a coalition formed against them, but they won, and now they're really big. And rest in peace to Persia and the blue team, and Egypt, and this one up here, probably some more that I'm forgetting. But anyway, I also kind of mentioned this, but it's not like everything that happens in this episode happened after everything that happened last episode, and it's not like everything that happened last episode happened the episode before that. It's the timeline is kind of like, it's generally in order, but it could be slightly off. I guess this doesn't really help, but still. But anyway, we're mostly going to be focusing on Europe this episode. So just to start, we are going to see some expansion, because there's still a lot of unclaimed territory. This yellow team focuses in over here for a while, but then this red team kind of pushes up here, cuts them off, so they look more eastern, go all the way over here and meet the border of this country. Then they come down here, go all right down here, and North Italy, even though this is going to go and expand up here. They also go out into the Alps. This city might be in the Alps, but this bluish country is going to go up here, and then wrap around the Baltic Sea. St. Petersburg is going to continue to flourish. They're doing pretty well up for themselves, actually. They have, they're one of the Cypriot Empire's, only allies, if not their only ally. Yeah. But it definitely paid off to be allies with them, because, now they're doing pretty well for themselves since they have this for an ally. They're mostly going down into Estonia, but also further into Finland, and also further this way. They eventually find these lakes and kind of explore around them. Then they find the ocean, but it's too cold for them, so they want to go back home. Look here, the religion map. This country's kind of weird because the northern part's in the blue religion, but the southern part is in the pink religion. So, this country is going to go ahead and continue to expand down here, mostly getting pink religion people. But this country is going to go ahead and expand down here by a lot, all the way down to here. Eventually, they get to this narrow strip of land by North Italy, and it's going to be kind of disputed because this country says they want it because it's closer to their capital. This country said that since it's in the light blue religion, or I think just blue religion, yeah, then they should get it. And so, of course, after trying to negotiate, this country's just going to get tired of it. They're going to try and invade this purplish one. So they launch their invasion up here into the north, mostly. Also traveling along this coast. And the purplish one sends its troops out in here. Go a little darker than that. So this yellowish one is probably more powerful, so they pretty easily cut off this piece up here in the north, which then falls over, and then they just kind of cram down here. Whoa. Okay, I don't know what that was. But then this goes more northern, I guess. Kind of get near the capital too, but not really. But this country's going to start fighting back against this too. Also pushing in down here. And yeah. Now a lot of these troops try and retreat to defend their territory back here, which does kind of work. So they kind of just reorganize themselves. Now the front line looks like this. Also, I managed to push back these guys a little bit up here. But then the yellow team's going to send down, I guess this is more green than yellow, but they're going to start sending out some troops down here. Kind of just going along the south. And this country is going to just kind of slowly bulge out here till eventually they kind of cut this off and then eat it up. That was kind of stupid of the yellow team, but not much they can really do about that. Purplish one is then going to send an invasion up here, taking back a lot of this land. But these guys are going to start aiming for the capital. So they get like all the way down to here. This country is getting pretty near to their capital themselves, but after realizing their country is in danger in their capital, they send some troops back, and they managed to cut them off here and encircle and just kill them. This kind of makes them fall back a little bit up here, with these troops then getting cut off. It's no bueno, and so they're dead. And then Purplish one sends out Panhandle, which successfully captures their capital and goes all the way down here. Then they move through Jutland all the way and encircle a ton of troops, which all fall over. They move around this Netherland coast, which is a little bit more populated. And after they cut these guys in two, they're going to surrender over. So, in this peace treaty, obviously these guys are going to be able to keep the disputed land, but also they're going to be getting a ton more land out of these guys. Now going to look something a little bit like this, the new border. And this does go against the pink religion, but it does go against the religion map a little, but these guys just kind of don't really care. That's not even it for the peace treaty, though, as they want to make sure that these guys don't come back for revenge. So they're going to be freeing, quote-unquote, a couple countries from it. First of all, we see this, like, I guess you just call this the Netherlands, but capital is right up here. Then, I guess, Belgium. They can be like this color. And down here. Right there. You see Jutland, I guess, get independence up here, also landlocking this country. And finally, we have one pink one down in the south here. Might not make a pink because of North Italy. Yeah, that looks like it's invading. So sure, we'll go with that cyan color. So, rest in peace to these guys' hopes. Purplish one would have just, like, fully annexed all this territory, like, all this territory, but didn't want to break apart, because then it would be getting a lot of the blue religion, even though it itself is the pink religion, so yeah. Anyway, the trade route is going to be slightly extended. Now it goes kind of cuts across here to catch up with this capital, then along the coast here, up into Brittany. We also see another little appendage, which just follows the border with like the untamed lands, and it goes up to that capital. Anywho, Brittany has been really making its neighbors pretty angry. It just really likes to mess around on the borders. It, like, you know, it'll do stuff like slightly beyond the borders and all that. So all these three countries are going to get together and decide that they need to go. So this is not going to be very pretty for Brittany. And pretty quickly, all of these guys start marching in like this, and then like this, and then their capital goes, and then they just die. However, pretty early on in history, so people are still stupid, like really stupid, and the king of this country is going to start bragging about how efficient and amazing they were at, you know, conquering all of Brittany, and this is going to make this country pretty mad, because, well, obviously they contributed to the least, but also this country, like, took their capital and all that. It's going to make them so mad that they're going to go ahead and invade into the reddish country. Now, the reddish country is still has the troops out here, so they kind of just go into this occupied Brittany land. England is kind of unsure what to do. They consider invading with this country, but they do not. Eventually, though, they take all of Brittany, and it is kind of left like this. From there, these guys make a slight push back upwards into Brittany, as well as up here. And with that, the king of this country is going to tell them, okay, fine, you did do more. So now they're going to settle the peace treaty finally. So Brittany is definitely going to die. The country's obviously going to take that. These guys will get pretty much what they took in the war. And this will get the capital. However, this country is also going to be taking a decent chunk of the reddish team because they feel like they deserve it. So now it looks like this. I guess it's just France. Anyway, up here in Ireland, things aren't going too well. The government is, pretty, what's called unequal, unfair, whatever you want to call it. Basically, taxes for Irish people are way lower than taxes for Scottish people, which is stupid since they're in the same religion, same branch and everything, but they don't care. And so the British people, I guess you could say British, but the Scottish people are going to rise up. You see a little rebellion up here. It is now going to march all the way down here. It's going to inspire another group, kind of in these highlands. They live from some pretty terrible place, but they want independence. Pretty quickly, Scotland's gonna die, and England's gonna push up here to try and get as much as possible. But then it's gonna kind of inspire. Some people in England are gonna be kind of inspired by this, and these two countries, rebellions, whatever. So we see this pocket, which has a lot of former Brittany people. What is that? You can't see that, but something has popped up at the bottom of my computer. I'm too scared to open that. I'll save it for after the episode. We also see this little circle thing kind of near London break off. And yeah, this country and the bluish team are going to immediately start fighting. But it kind of gets to a stalemate around here because they're all tired. These guys push England out and start getting near its capital. This country goes up here, takes all of Wales and the rest of Cornwall. Goes down here. And this country is going to take the rest. So that's exactly how they are going to set up the new borders. This country's capital is going to be off here. Wales is going to be right here on that river. This guy is going to be over here. This bluish one is going to be up here. Meanwhile, over in actual Ireland, they're pretty unhappy that they just lost his territory. So now they're going to have to start taxing their own citizens heavily too. And so the king gets killed in an assassination. Complete civil war breaks out, and pretty quickly just like most of the citizens in Ireland are in support of this. So pretty quickly the government gets overthrown. This new one is put in place. And they also give this island over to Scotland to try and improve relations. Finally, we just see, well, finally for Europe, we just see a new little thing pop up around here. It's kind of like grayish, bluish country. They are, I believe, the pink religion. I keep doing that. But yeah, they're the pink religion. They're almost down there in dark red, but they are not. Well, I guess they are a little bit. Well, they're probably going to cut that back, but we just see this pinkish religion people kind of rise up. Well, not rise up, but they're going to become this. Yeah. If I could just figure out what could I do to get rid of this. We'll just eyeball it. That's probably about good. So yeah, we see this community of pink religion people become a country. I keep forgetting the cities are in another layer now. We see these two dark red religion people become a country. This very light pink one, well, it's not really even that light, but it's light pink. And then we see this very dark blue one. Nothing too special about them, but they are here near the Cypriots, on the border of the Cypriots, which is pretty terrifying, but oh well. Gibraltar is going to do some expansion, just a little bit down here, just like this, like that, yeah. Moving away from Europe now, you see the Gold Coast country, who has done like literally nothing, start to expand some more. But some people from the Gold team are going to eventually, like, there's a lot of people from the Gold team, or I keep calling them the Gold team. I'm calling that because they're on the Gold Coast, not because they are gold. But a lot of people from here just like to explore outwards. Eventually, some of them find this purplish people, so they're going to connect up with them, and they're going to become not neighbors. They're going to become friendly with each other pretty quickly. And we actually see that kind of on the same note, moving back up to Europe, even though I just said we were going to stop looking at Europe. But we have the creation of the first alliance in the series, which is going to be the Square team. Just like this. So this is between North Italy and Gibraltar, who are best friends. And they're going to also add in this, I'll call this Germany. They also add in Germany, and that's it. But we can name this alliances. We also see the Circle team between Gold Coast and this country. There's our first alliance map. St. Petersburg and the Cypriots aren't an official alliance, so they aren't going to bother. Over down here in the formerly yellow team, we see that, remember, all these countries are very chill with each other. In fact, we're going to see that take place as we see a small, well, not really even small, pretty big union down here. As we see all three of these countries unite into one. Actually, all four. Not that one. I like that color. So, these two capitals are now major cities. As we see, this Southern Lake one is very big now. And they're definitely the most powerful of these former Yellow Team countries now. They're going to start expanding out here by a lot. You know, some of these other guys are kind of like, they feel left out, especially these two, because they were not invited. So they feel pretty angry at them. And no one else wants to unite with them. They also don't want to unite with each other, though. So, kind of just to get a little bit stronger, because they maybe want to take out this guy one day. You're going to see the first beginning of war in the former Yellow Team countries. They pretty quickly steamroll this one and take over. I believe this, no, because I think this was the Yellow Team capital. So, yeah. Blue Team is going to be like, I understand what we're doing. And they are going to start invading down here. It's this pinkish, no, it's not pinkish, just this purple country. They get kind of near the capital, and they're doing very well. But a lot of people in the blue team are not happy with this. So, of course, we're going to see some rebellions. We have this brown one up here, as well as this greenish one. I keep saying like greenish, pinkish, when they're just like green or pink. I don't know why I'm doing that. But anyway, the brown one is a separatist movement. The green one wants to overthrow the government. And both of them start to be very successful, with the green team capturing this major city. Circling all of this, taking all this out. Blue team has to retake the troops out of here, which allows for this guy to push up here, take this. And the orange team is, of course, going to go up here. And they're also going to say, why not, and invade this greenish one. Same thing happens with these guys as they start to go for the greenish one. And these guys decide to join in on it as well. But they're also going to invade into the orange one. Why would you do that? But now they're going to start invading up here. As we can see that this really has become a big mess. So up here, the poor blue team is just absolutely destroyed. Everyone hates them. Yeah. The separatist brown movement has all the land they want, but the green movement does not want them to separate. So they start invading through here, and they start steamrolling them and killing a lot of people, which means that some people are not happy with the green team. So we have a separatist movement in the separatist movement. Over here is pink, this dark purple. They go over here. They make sure to connect up with the lake, though. Orange team takes off this. These guys push up here. Brown team manages to retake a lot of this. Push it down here. And these guys take this. This poor little greenish country is just, they're picked apart and bullied. And I believe this orange country is going to push out the pinkish one, pinkish purple, and go up here. Eventually, like this, everyone's going to decide, okay, let's stop. So we see these guys take that. They take their land. It's a very simple peace treaty. Everyone just takes what they got. Yeah. Also change the city layer. This capital is up here. This one's just by the lake. And this capital is no longer a capital. It is going to be slightly in the purple team, though. So yeah, the Lake Country region, previously the most peaceful region probably, just got into complete collapse. And ironically, it was because of a unification. Everyone else just feel threatened, and some people start invading each other to feel less threatened because they'd be more powerful. And then it just snowball affected from there. Over here, New Hejaz is, a lot of people decide that they don't like this area, so they are naturally just going to go down here. And so, they literally just leave this behind, they tell their neighbors that they can divide them up. Obviously, everyone's pretty happy about this. But these two countries kind of meet right here, and they're get into a bit of an argument about who gets to control the capital. This argument is going to turn into a war, as these guys started off and push into here. And this country is just going to decide, like, okay, you can take that. But these guys are not satisfied with that. They now are out for this country's head. So let's get all the way to the capital here. But then this country, who I believe is, like, friends with this guy, I think they might have... I think this team broke off of them, so actually maybe it's that they're enemies with this team. They're going to come to the defense of this team and start invading into here. They take their capital. Their forces fall back to about here. And now they're just like, okay, you're going to stop now, right? And they do not. So they have no choice just to finish them off. I see this happen. So yes, thanks New Hejaz. But anyway, for the peace treaty, this country is of course going to get the capital as well as most of this country. This is now a major city. And this country is going to get the majority of this, including their former capital. Well, now former. And their new capital is going to be, well, we're not going to put it just yet, because first of all, we need to just look down here. New Hejaz has settled along, why is that white? Settled along this coast. This country is way too similar of a color to them, though, so gotta change that. But anyway, New Hejaz which is still the Hejaz people, is going to be down here. And they meet up with a lot of the people that used to live in the colony of Persia. So now they kind of join the country, and if you remember, Persia was really rich, so even its colonies were still rich. So this guy, Neo-Hejaz, is now going to be rich. So we definitely need to update the religion map now. These guys are that. Jazz came off of this, though. So they're going to look like this. That makes sense. So yeah, they kind of established themselves here. And that's what they look like now. The religion map. This makes barely any sense, but yeah. So yeah, Neo-Hejaz down there, and they're actually doing pretty well for themselves right now. Give them that too. But with that, the reason I didn't put this guy's capital down here, that they're kind of inspired by Neo-Hejaz. So they're going to go on down. And they're going to settle along this coast. So now we have this whole country migrating also down to here. That just leaves Asia for the last continent to do stuff in. Not too much has been going on right here. They're mostly focused on, like developing their culture. But we do see some expansion, obviously. This greenish one is doing better than this purplish one. We also see a new country pop up along the trade route. Like this. Of course, their capital is going to be on the trade route. We also see this guy expand out on the trade route. And Lake Baikal country is going to kind of cut them off here. So that sours relations between the two of them. And now Lake Baikal is going to try and invade this country to get the trade route from them. And that's going to be very successful. No one even really cares. But just like what happened to the Yellow team, and I guess you could even say the Middle East last episode, peace here is pretty much just gone. As after they invade them, this is going to basically send a message to other countries that they can just do whatever they want now. So after they fully annex them, Sakhalin, well, we can't really describe this. There's just going to be a big war. So Sakhalin is invading up here. Japan goes into Sakhalin, takes their capital too. They take their troops out here. Oh. And they managed to take their capital back. And with Korea's help, they managed to push out these guys. Take their capital. And all of this. So they're just going to split this land between the two of them. Capital is a major city. And so we're going to see another alliance now between these Asian countries, or Chinese. I mean, they are Asian, but more specifically Chinese. Triangle Alliance, which involves Sakhalin, Korea, and China. This China. But anyway, the Orange team is doing. This area is pretty peaceful. We just see some. Well, no, we just see some expansion into unclaimed land. Here. 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 I don't like how similar these two countries' colors are. But anyway, Japan is going to go on down here, and they're going to invade this light blue one, just because they didn't like it, and they want some land, kind of inspired by the ideas of Persia, of colonizing places. So even though this really isn't even a colony, but it's just annexation, but still. And now this is going to make South China pretty mad. So they're going to start their own alliance in defiance of this. Let's get ready for this. It's going to be the Upside Down Triangle Alliance. So the Upside Down Triangle Alliance is going to consist of them, them. Japan, though, Japan, though, isn't really going to care. I keep calling them Japan, but Korea isn't really going to care. And so they're just going to send over to the Philippines, like, give us your Northern Island, that sounds like Northern Ireland, or we'll kill you. The Philippines accept. So, yep, goodbye to their capital. It's very annoying to them, but there's not a lot they can do. They're just getting because they're much weaker than Korea, and would definitely lose a war. And then finally, the very last place is going to be over here, where we see the Indus River Valley. Now seeing the lack of peace in the world, is going to go up over here and start just rolling through this guy. Also see this purplish one go down here, take this country. It's a very old country, but these guys do not care. So is Indus River Valley. So pretty quickly, they're defeated and partitioned. Yeah. And then down in India, we see a new country pop up in the north here. It's going to also include some people from these guys, and that's because, well, I believe it's all the same religion. Yes, it's actually because, like, these guys are mostly this pinkish one, but the rest of this is like this greenish one. You can actually just yeah. So basically, the greenish religion from this is going to break off. Also take a ton of land from this one, just because they want to be powerful. And so this country looks very odd now, but that's okay. These guys now look like this. Capital's up there. And down here, we see that this country invades this one, takes the southern tip. In the Americas, literally nothing happens. And that's the end of the video. So yeah, nothing, like, no big events, just kind of catching up on all over the world. So yeah. Also, I guess a big war didn't really happen in China, just a little one. Yeah, that's going to be the end of this video, so goodbye.